Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's my pleasure to read for you. As you guys know, today we're going to be taking a look at the beautiful, amazing, and lovely sign of Virgo. Shout out to Virgos. Anybody? Anybody? Sir, I see you in the back. Thank you. As you guys also know, these readings are timeless and signless, so even though we are giving some flowers to our lovely Virgos, you don't have to have any significant placements in a sign of Virgo or to be watching this reading at the time that I'm publishing it for the messages to be for you, because I've actually asked for messages to come through for everyone within reason, right? If it resonates, then it's for you. If it doesn't, I would invite you to take a step back, come back a little bit later once the energies have had some time to kind of like materialize, and then see if something is there for you. If you'd like to work more personally with me, you know exactly where to find me. You can click my Etsy link on the page wherever you're watching. And remember that until December 31st, you can book any session, yay, for 20% off, and you can schedule it for whenever you want. Doesn't expire. Tis my pleasure. And also, we do payment plans through Klarna. So come check us out and see what you like. Other than that, feel free to dip into any of the content we've already made. You can mosey on over to YouTube, all right? Which has everything more than Instagram, I would say. All right, anyway, let's just get started. So, Virgo, let's jump in. Interesting. Immediately, the minute I said let's jump in, I was going to say let's jump into your reading, but I saw us jumping cannonball style right into the waters. So, Virgo, something is giving me a feeling that you're going to be placed in a position to I want to say to channel through, but I don't want to get you confused like, oh, Jay, you're channeling. You mean like that? I mean to be a conduit for a lot of charity if that's something that you would be interested in. So someone may come to you and offer you, I'm seeing you being approached, whoever you guys are, with three opportunities. Now, I hope that first of all, let's take a moment right now and say that, dear God, or whoever you guys feel comfortable calling upon, if this message is for me about the charity and being approached by three different opportunities, then please make those opportunities be clean and clear to me when they come into my field, because a lot of times things come into our field, but we are not paying enough attention to notice that those things have in fact materialized for us. So I am seeing this card, boop, giving me some Mother Teresa vibes right there at the top. And so I do see that this is messages going to be for you. You're going to be presented by the universe with three opportunities to be of service. Now, I'm getting two of these are going to be top shelf opportunities, and one is going to be a little bit low. Now, when I talk about that, the one that's a little bit low means that you're probably going to have to dip into some lower frequency energies in order to be of service in that realm. Immediately, I'm thinking, it doesn't have to be this, but immediately I'm thinking things like feeding the homeless and stuff like that. And before some of you are like, but wait a minute, just please understand that anywhere you see energies of destitution, of poverty, and these same energies, BT dubs, can be existing even in the most luxurious of places. Remember, it's just an energy, but when it's like, wow, it's just in your face, it embedded in, literally not having a home and things like that, then we're definitely looking at the hallmarks, the physical effects of poverty consciousness in action. All right. So for those of you who do step into those arenas to be of service, thank you so much. Yay. But that's an example of what I was seeing here for some of you. The other two opportunities I do see are coming through with an energy of being more top shelf. Now, a quick example that was just dropped in my mind for one of those opportunities may be an opportunity to thank you guys. To volunteer at a school, for example. I'm seeing a middle school for somebody here, or a high school that has middle school vibes. We can go into that another time because it's not instrumental here, but and if that's for you, you're going to know what that means. But now some of you may be like, but there's a lot of poverty and stuff rampant at high schools and middle schools. And yes, that may be true, but yeah, it's the guides, they're so sweet. They're like Janelle, just trust her messages. I'm out here trying to make it make sense to people. But anyway, let's just move on. You get it. Top shelf here. We're looking at volunteering at a school for somebody. And the third opportunity, and this is just another example, remember how it manifests for you in your world, may not be a school. It may not be feeding the homeless. It could be something else, right? So, but this is just another example. The third example that is coming to mind, and may actually be the case for somebody here, is to volunteer or give your services, whether it's financially or your time, for example, or you know, is a museum is what I'm getting, right? So could be an artistic museum, or it could be a museum where you're being asked to even, yeah, lend your art or give your art or something like this. This is the goodwill uh, and beneficence is the word I'm getting. Display of your energy in a charitable way. Whew. Stumbling much? Yeah, okay, great. So and that's what I'm getting for the first message coming through for you guys. Remember, even though we are chatting with our Virgos, this could be for anyone listening. All right. Thank you so much, guys, for that message. Let's move on. What else is coming through for you guys? Let's go ahead and pull these cards. Ding! Aw. The first card that comes out, the prison wave, self-sabotage, poverty consciousness. Next card, the altar princess, preparation, prayer, sacred ritual, and the horse king, assistance, control. Now let's see what energies are thank you. What energies are grounding this? And I said thank you because they said don't forget the crown. And what energies are crowning this? Now, oh, a diamond dreamer. I don't know if you guys can. Oops, excuse me. Zzz, there you go. Interesting, the shape that it came out right now. Go for it, God. Get it, get it. But at the bottom here, the grounding energy we have is the diamond dreamer, material wealth, truth, prosperity. And above here, crowning this spread, we have the word Lord, communication, praise, dishonesty. Okay. So let's go ahead and I'm going to take a quick moment and jump into these spaces here. And let me go ahead and take a sip. First of all, I want to let you guys know that the energy of dinosaurs is coming through. I'm getting dinosaur energy, so that is a symbol for somebody here to definitely give you a tap on the shoulder that we talking to you. Okay, so hold on, let me look inside. Okay, thank you. Now, this is almost punctuating the messages that we got here earlier. Now, I do feel that as I look at these energies, it feels like the message is coming through collectively for you guys, because this is a collective reading. Personal readings are for you and me, but the message is coming through collectively is the importance of being the light for others. Okay, if it is your intention to have your energy field, your consciousness, all of that expand instead of contract, then you're also opting for growth, personal growth, spiritual evolution, personal expansion, because that's what energy does when it is in its highest form. It's constantly expanding. The same way that if you say, I love you, and blah, 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 you can just see the other person beaming and becoming ebullient. And when you speak harshly to them and you talk down to them and stuff, you can just see them contracting, right? Even recoiling. That's just a quick physical example of how energies work. So here you are being represented in the spread as the altar princess, excuse me, priestess. And here what we want to take note of is you taking advantage of, in other words, using the opportunity to grasp an opportunity for kindness and forgiving. And then I'm getting specifically to step back. Okay, so now we're talking about giving and then stepping back. Okay, hold on a sec. Let me actually step back and see if they also want to mention something. Okay, thank you. Now I needed also step back because some energies needed to come in, because as we are looking here, this next, oh, first of all, when you step into the zone of being able to give to others, of course, you're simultaneously allowing yourself to receive on this planet on the planet Earth, where we believe that lack is a real thing, that idea that lack is a real concept gives rise to the idea that you can gain and that you can lose. Because if you can lack something, it means that there's room for more and there's room for less. And so we tend to differentiate giving and receiving on this planet. The reality, though, because that's not real. So let's blow it away. The reality, though, is that giving and receiving are exactly the same when you understand what your true nature is. Your true nature is the I am. And the I am is basically you have everything. There's no such thing as lack. It is not a real concept. That is a fake concept here on this planet. Okay. And so If you think about it, if you are in your state of reality, which is not lacking anything, you have everything you need for the journey you're here for. You look just the way you need to look for the journey. It's not for you to your body and stuff to improve or change or blah, blah, blah. It's for you to accept what it is that you are already working with, right? And so when you are in a state of understanding that you are never in lack, that you don't have need for anything more, that anything you actually need, you need only call in, right? It's you've got access to it. You call it in, you create the conditions for yourself to call that in and for it to manifest for you. And when I say create the conditions, I mean get out of your own way with the low self-worth thinking, which blocks you, right? And so when you are plugged into that space of understanding that you have everything you need, that's when you understand it, when you start to quote unquote give people things, whether it's your time, your resources, your wisdom, your this and that, you're never detracting from yourself. You also understand that it just is for you, it's for everybody. Everybody is always having what they need, despite what we see on this planet. We only see poverty here because of people believing collectively that it is a real thing. And so when you believe these things, you create structures and everything to have that occur, but that's not the case. So also when you're receiving, and especially when you don't have these blockages in your energy field, you're just like this beautiful sieve. Light is just flowing through you because you are the light. You recognize, oh, I am the light. So when light is coming in or coming from you, it's just passing right through you. A bucket filled with water, when you pour water into it, it doesn't, it just, it feels, it just goes on to spill out into other places because you're already full. Does that make sense? So anyway, so you're always, when you allow yourself to receive, just know that you're going to give. When you don't allow yourself to give, it doesn't have to be in the same kind. It doesn't mean someone just gave you money, you just give that money away, because then we got to talk about your lack of deservability and all of that, right? So it's always got to be motivated, right? Not by lack consciousness and low self-worth, but a knowing that I have all that I need. Hold on, let me take out this thing. All right, so when you can be in a state of understanding that you have value inherently, and that because you inherently have value, you are always in a position to give of yourself. That's going to, and then especially when you're in alignment with your higher self, look at this. You allow yourself to receive and that light, it's just automatically being given from you. And so from there, that's when we see, look at this energy, the prison wave, more of these energies. I remember I had to step back and some came in. This card represents, look, it even says poverty, consciousness, self-sabotage. This card represents those in your life, those in the world, whether you know them personally or not, who can be positively influenced by your allowance of spirit at the highest energy of energies, your higher self to work through you, to emanate from you. Now, it's understandable that people struggle and they're like, but I have nothing to give. I don't even have anything in there in my bank account. And that's because you're misunderstanding your value. You're not your bank account. You're not even your body. Like, here we go, right? We're not going to go into that message because we've beaten that path a million times. You need only remain open to being of service to others. And you have no idea sometimes how that service is going to be is going to manifest through you, right? Interesting. I'm seeing for some of you, this may, yeah, look at them, the word Lord. For some of you, this may actually be this emanation of light that you allow to come through you this season or just at this time, Virgo or whoever you are. They're saying for some of you, it may come through in the form of words. So some of you may find yourself saying really kind things to people over the next few weeks. I'm getting over the next 3 weeks, something about the next 3 to 4 weeks, but particularly the 3 weeks. And then a little bit of a holdover to the fourth week. I feel that a lot of you will be used as a conduit for messages to be delivered from spirit through you to others. These could be simply as simple as motivational moments. It could be as simple as you bumping into somebody in the supermarket with your cart, and then you guys having a moment where you like, oh, sorry, this and that, and somehow you strike up a conversation, and may not even last more than 2 minutes, but that person walks away feeling enriched. Like maybe you don't know, maybe they were going to take themselves off this planet as soon as they got home, or just all sorts of stuff, or maybe they were going to lose faith in themselves and then go and make a decision in their life that is based upon that low faith and low hope. And just having that quick 2-minute conversation with you really breathed life back into them, right? So this is why it's important. And of course, you'll never know in this lifetime here until you go on to the other side and you see all of your actions on other people, good and bad, right? Um, so, um, so this is why it's important to make sure that we allow ourselves to be available to, they're saying to avail ourselves, right, to others in their time of need. Now, I do feel that I need to pull a card there. Oh, from where? Oh, okay, this one. This, all right. So this is how you change lives. It's so interesting because I remember one time when I was still living in Japan and I was just, out there doing J things in J Town. And I was snuggling up to go to bed. And I just heard, as I was putting my head on the pillow and about to fall asleep, I heard my guide say, it just brought me so much, yeah, I don't know. It was great. They said the world will never know what you do for them. And I was like, me? I was like, who this? Get thee behind me. Excuse me, going through all that. Just kidding. I knew it was my guides, but I was just like, really, whatever. I don't know what was going on in my life. But yeah, they said the world will never know what you do for them. And here I am thinking, but I'm barely like doing much. I wish I were doing more and this and that. And then I have to stop myself and say, Jay, because that's how I talk to myself. Jay, you don't actually know what your purpose is. Number one, Course in Miracles reminds us we don't know what the purpose of anything is. Okay? Period. No matter what you think, the purpose of this cup may not be what I think it is. So we just need to let that go. And so if my team is saying, hey, the world is never going to know what all that you do for them, that means I clearly am doing more, obviously at the energetic level, for others than I know. And I just have to hold that with me and move forward, even in the darkest nights when I'm like, I am such a insert here, right? Whatever the word is. And so see how this kind of thinking is here with the prison wave, right? So Spirit is saying when you agree, whoever you are, to be open to whom? Your own higher self. On this channel, you will never hear me saying, be open to, oh, something else. Let this person work through you. Da, 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 da. And then I say, let God work through you. Creation, universe, please know that I'm only talking about you in your expanded form, because that's what you are. Okay? So we're not here with the whole worship thing, because that is just a trapping of earth programming. We're all here as brothers and sisters. Look at that. Look at how she transforms here with the love that you, the viewer, allow to work through you. When you align with your higher self, you become a conduit for energy to emanate from you. Literally. And for your friendly local readers, hi, and healers, hi. When you walk in, we see your luminescence. So a lot of you cannot see energetically. Maybe the third eye isn't there, or maybe that's just not the way that you see things. Literally, look at the bottom of this card. Look, Lady of the Mirror. This is what we're talking about, right? Maybe you're not able to see yourself beyond the physical. But I see you. I see your energy, right? And others do too, and they feel you. And so look how your love and your light, regardless of what you think your value is or what you think you're contributing to humanity in any way, shape, and form, look at how you play a role in transforming this into this. That's beautiful. Okay? So that's one of the ways that's one of the messages coming through for you guys in this reading. Let's go ahead and take a quick sip. Yay. So sad that, we don't live near each other, because one of my favorite things is to have hot beverages with people. And I would love to be invited to play next door to your house, or vice versa, invite you and we can have cake and tea, right? So if you're ever watching and you feel like having a hot beverage, please do bring one, get cozy. All right, I'll go ahead and put that there. Now let's look at the other readings here. Now, this card is actively moving away from here. Now, I'm going to disconnect from these words here that says material wealth and true prosperity, because the message that's being superimposed upon this card is showing me Seven of Swords energy. Oh, yeah, deception. And as I said that, my eyes move right up here. Dishonesty. 4 and 3 is 7. So now you see how it's all book-ended. So what they're saying here is that when you change your frequency, and we've been talking about this since time immemorial, we on this channel with this, it is up to you to shape your own frequency. You like a cute little tune, or you're tuning into lower frequencies, or you're tuning into higher frequencies, or everywhere in between. But actually, what it really looks like is moving back and forth, because people like are moving to the beat of all the stimuli that's coming into them based on people and institutions and stuff who do not have their together at all. The light is turned off in a lot of these people. The empathy has been gone. They don't even know how to feed a plant. They can't even feed it themselves, some of these people, but everybody wants to be out there making policy and trying to direct society, and they should not even be in charge of their own bank accounts, some of these people. So I just want you to know, when people are walking around without understanding their unprocessed pain, without doing the self-reflection, without doing let me leave room for that, the shadow work. But we have those people that we're electing to take control of our finances, of our schooling, of our governments, of our households, of our kids, of ourselves. What are we doing? What are we doing? What are you doing? Okay, so when I say this, it's like me wanting to go unplug you from the word I'm hearing is nasty influences. Look at the hands now. See the mirroring? When you unplug that, and then when we do that, we allow ourselves, look, guys, stop. I'm not, look at the hands. I'm not making this up, you see? When we unplug from all these nasty influences, then we put ourselves in a position to give and receive. Receiving is giving, because when you receive the light of what? Your higher self, the Christ consciousness, not religious, for the 10 millionth time. This is not a religious conversation. It's about the energies that are off this planet and came down to this planet finally because humanity was ready for it. But it has not been preserved properly in people. It's either you can embody that frequency, it's a frequency of energy, or you cannot. I don't care who you are, or where you were born, or what you look like, or your financial situation, or your designation in institutions and religions and all this stuff. It is the heart measured against the feather. It is the heart and what's motivating it that will tell you what your frequency is. And even then, you have to look at that in a balanced way. Yeah, you may be compassionate, you may be, what's the other word? Considerate. But when you look at these things, you have to understand, what is healthy compassion? What is healthy consideration? What does that look like? For example, it does not look like bending over backwards for everybody, right? Me with my 10 million signs in Libra, Cancer North Node, this has been, needing to bring balance to giving and receiving, self-worth. That's a lesson I'm learning, but it's a lesson, that's one example of lessons that we all need to learn, right? Bringing balance. The question is, what do you need to bring balance to in your life? All right. So when you decide to unplug from these things, you have to, why am I even here? You guys could just look through this deck. I was just going to say, you don't even know what to unplug from until you start to observe and reflect upon the world. And then I look down, observe. You have to first look out onto the world and see what you're seeing. And then you do your due diligence. Let me just put it here for the stages. You do your due diligence by unplugging from all of that, and you remain open to be retaught in the proper way. What's the proper way? Close all your books. Get out of what are they, the ashrams and the churches and the temples and the this and that. Get out of it. Just go sit under a tree, close your eyes, Bodhi tree, right? Whatever, right? Anywhere. Close your eyes, go take a hike. No one's there. Disconnect from people for a second. Close your eyes. Get into that space and invite your own self in. It's only ever you coming in. So when you start to see things pop up in the, non-physical that scare you and this and that, you ask spirit to dispel it. A lot of that is because because your higher self energies are coming in and they're kicking up the programming you already have, and they're showing you things like demons. If you have religious programming, you're going to see demons. If you have war programming, which pretty much those two everybody has because all the lifetimes we live, if you've got war programming, military programming, you're going to see enemies. If you've got what do you call this? Perfectionistic programming, like, oh, you have to be the top, you have to be the best, you have to achieve. Many cultures are all about that. You have to be productive. You're going to see competition. So whatever it is you've got going on in your debris in your energy field because of the programming that is unhealthy, that is toxic, that is highly sociocultural and trauma-based and lifetime after lifetime, and ain't nobody out here doing shadow work and clearing up and asking for the clearings to occur. You're just living in these like biodomes of your own stuff. Of course, when you bring in your higher self energy, it's so clean, it's so clear because that's who you really are. It's going to kick up those lower frequencies because higher frequency energy is always going to jettison out. It's going to challenge that lower frequency energy. And if the lower frequency energy cannot start to vibrate fast enough to heal itself and rise in frequency, it's going to be jettisoned out. We see this countless of times in a physical sense when we see a relationship where one partner is like, they're like, I want to do better. I want to be more of myself. I want to experience. Where's my joy in this life? I want to get out there. I want to see what I can do. I want to explore. And then they're excited. They start changing their diet. They start working out. They start talking to people they feel motivated about. And they want their partner to share that with them. The partner is not ready to grow and change and evolve in that way, which is totally fine. Everybody in their own trajectory. But guess what? Now we have two trajectories because one is going to have to, they have to get into alignment with the two. And if one is vibrating one way and the other is vibrating the other, the higher frequency, it's on a roll. So this is going to be bling, flung out, right? And so we see how that manifests depending on a person's mindset. That could manifest as, oh, well, I'm going to self-sabotage my relationship. I'm going to get mad. I'm going to gaslight you, or I'm just going to give up. I'm just going to, however people leave is really immaterial. It's semantics. It's the frequency cannot be held within this higher field. And so that's also why when people have initiations, they have downloads, they do their light bodies stuff, they do their what's the word, shadow work. But I heard guides say solar clearing. Interesting. And when I hear solar, yes, of course we want to go and think about the solar plexus, but what I was getting is solar in the sun, letting the sun come through. And well, the sun is an amazing portal, and it's for another day, but I had to tell you guys at one point, one day when I went through the portal of the sun. It is cool. But anyway, I was during a client session and it was actually interesting. I actually ended up somewhere else. But anyway, whatever. The point is the sun brings through a lot of energy codes and stuff as well. So please understand that don't knock those people out there sun gazing, right? Those people living on the sun through the sun's I say living on the sun and figuratively, of course, I'm sure there's some beings over there, obviously not our bodies, but when they're living off of, thank you, the sun in their own ways, that's because they have belief systems that can support that. But anyway, going back to this message, when you disconnect from when you observe, hey, this doesn't feel right, and you make the decision, it's gotta be you. You're the sovereign being. You make the decision. And if you choose to not make the decision and just keep going on the status quo, I do want to let you know you're still making the decision. Omissions to act are still actions. All right. Just letting you know. And so, yeah, especially if you're watching this and we're like, hey, now, now it's a choice, right? So when you make the decision to receive your own self, this is you coming alive. This is your own energy coming in and taking out the garbage within your energy field. This is your own energy coming through and illuminating for other people to feel that. This is not for you to try and change people. You cannot change people. You cannot fix people. You cannot do anything. You cannot make someone drink water. You can bring them somewhere. Even healers, I can't make you guys heal. I can't do any of this. Healers, all we do is something about our energy field. We have the energetic conditions. We can somehow help create the conditions for you to connect with your own higher self. That's all that's happening in these energy sessions. And we're lending our skills, communication skills, the surgery skills, whatever that we're doing for you. But it's you and your higher self coming through to help. And so when you get these anointings, when you get these initiations, all that is you're in your energetic anatomy being, yeah, look, the word preparation, prepared, being cleared, being updated, being upgraded. So what? So that you can accommodate higher frequencies. If you can't accommodate these higher frequencies, they will blow you apart. And this is why a lot of people who end up messing with things they shouldn't be messing with, delving into substances, saying that they're, anyway, all sorts of stuff. And also even getting light body healings and stuff when they're not ready, when their vessel is not ready, when they haven't done the proper preparations, even looking into certain books and things like that. Like if it's not for you at that time, it's not me. It doesn't mean, oh, you can't do that. No, it means that you have to properly prepare the energetic vessel for what? For taking on this high frequency. Because if you're moving with a lot of low energy, a lot of shadow energy, a lot of stuff, it's going to be like boom. Speaking of, it's going to be like boom, right? Because you are everything, all that is. We cannot take the sun. We can't take the full force of the soul. We can't do all that, especially if you're still too low in frequency. Now, we've talked about this a million times. How do you create the conditions within yourself to have this change in state? Well, you tap into your joy. Do what brings you joy. God's not out here saying, we need you to do these 10 puzzles and walk backwards 6 times and this and that and go into these hermetically sealed schools. No, all we're saying is tap into what is yours, because all we're saying is you already have within you what you need. But out here, people are punching air because they're fighting themselves. So you get quiet, you disconnect, you get quiet, give yourself the time to regroup, pull your own energy back in, right? And then you just allow your higher self to come in. You say, it could be something as simple as like, oh, well, I'm really interested. Let's see how this goes. You have a week, spirit, and allow it. That means allow it. Stop, just let it go. Don't think about it anymore. But don't actively go out there saying, I'm not hearing anything, I'm not feeling anything, and she said to do this, and da 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 da. Because when you're in that mode, all that's telling anybody is that you were not allowing it, because you said, I'm going to allow this because you're the sovereign being. You open and close the door. I'm going to allow this. But then you're like, but I don't believe it's going to happen. Boom. I didn't see anything. Da, da, da. And so it's just you opening and shutting the door. Can you see why that would look like insanity from a higher level? Because you're just like, right? Some of you are doing your best to open up, and then you go right back home and you commune. Look, there's the next word, communication. You commune and surround yourself with people who cannot see this or support or even vibe with or resonate with this kind of thinking that your soul is pushing you towards at this time. It doesn't mean that they won't one day. Of course they will. But this isn't their time, because obviously it's not a vibrational match. In that case, stop trying to engage people in those ways. And because now you're just trying to proselytize. And then you're trying to waste your time wasting your words. Now you find yourself having to always defend what you're believing or what you're curious about. Instead, it's like a breath of fresh air when you finally meet somebody and you don't have to list 5 reasons why you believe this or why you're feeling called to this, or you explain yourself. So the point I'm saying is, as my guides had said one time, put yourself in the path of healing, right? Get quiet and allow. Get quiet and allow, and it will work right through you. And as these lower frequencies come out, you allow whoever, whatever needs to leave, because the lower frequencies are just energy, but built upon them is form, people, places, things, situations, ideas. That includes your desks, that includes your jobs, all this, that. And so when these lower frequencies are removed from your energy field, these forms that are there no longer have anything to hold on to, right? That's why, did you ever notice how like you have this breakup with somebody and then like if one of you moves out the house or the other, and during the moving process, the desks that they got you for a gift broke. You're like, oh, okay, well now I have to throw this out. Yeah, because that was so representative of their energy and the energy is no longer here. So it just breaks, right? Or you lose things because it's just no longer supported in your energy field. All right. So, when you agree to be in alignment with your higher self, you're agreeing to take on more of yourself, and the gift of taking that on and gifting yourself with you to know you is to love you. When you cultivate that, when you allow it in, it just comes right out of you, and it is helping the world. Now, like I said, when that happens, you're going to have to go through, in order to really help and cultivate all that, you detach from the programming. And when you do that, you let things go. You detach from your own poverty consciousness. Anything that's coming up, let it go. Let go of the people. And not in a mean way, like, like walking out, because at some point it's just your own ego. At some point, some of you just want to be like, I was right, you were wrong, you did that, you voted for this person, you paid for this person, you did it, and you want them to know it, right? So if you're going to leave, leave, for example. If you're going to make a change for yourself, make the change. If you're going to wear the bow on your head, wear the bow. You don't have to be like, everybody, dramatically, this is what I'm standing with, like all of that. You can do it because it's you and everybody has their choices and you're a sovereign being, but also understand the motivation behind that. Because we always understand that, for example, we always talk about women like this because, we women shout out. But when a woman's ready to leave, she's just gone. There's no, I'm going to go ahead and tear up all the receipts in this house. I'm going to do all the petty stuff and I got to call everybody and let them know. And I'm going to make sure I drag you. No, when she's just watching the moves. And when it's time and she's ready to go, and she really knows she's ready to go, and of course it could be he as well, whatever. When she's ready to go, and her intent is actually just to remove herself from something that no longer serves her, she understands that when she just goes, she's also taking the tentacles that are her fingers with her. There's none of this, I'm leaving, but boom, you're going to feel it. That's you still trying to engage. And this is what I'm saying. A lot of people do things and, they don't understand the motivations behind that. They don't understand that when we see something like that, it's somebody who says they want to leave, and yes, they're leaving, but they're still engaging. And then you have a lot of people around the world who watch some of these videos, for example, just using this as an example, and they're choosing to see that as empowering because it's striking a chord within them. And that chord is their own unprocessed pain. But there are many people who also have the same, not no one ever has the same pain, but the same circumstances when we look at it, like they all had that same situation happen. But there are some women who didn't even feel the need to go about it in that way. They didn't even feel the need to watch this video, for example. And then when they watch that video of the person leaving and saying you blah, 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 it wasn't appealing to them because they're just like, well, why didn't you just leave? Why did you have to bring down the whole ship? Because that's still giving engagement, right? So when we learn about detaching, when we look at why we engage with people, why we hold on, when we look at when we detach, how we are detaching, when we look at all of that stuff, it gives you clear insight to what your motivations are. And your motivations speak directly to and from the pain that you carry. If you're still carrying unprocessed pain, you're going to act out, in addition to making the move that you need to make. So when you're detaching, when you're aligned with your higher self is never going to be like, let's leave and let's cut up all the everything in the house and go, and that'll teach a lesson. No, that's not how the higher self works. Okay. That's when you have to start looking at other things inside of you. Your higher self is more expansion minded. For example, using that same example, let's leave so that we can find somewhere better for ourselves, so I can connect to myself better. And let's see how I can expand and be of assistance to others. Maybe I'll start a blog sharing my emotions and, sharing my experience and offering resources and giving motivation. That is something the higher self does. That's how you leave. That's how you help. That's how you do things. When you're doing things in a petty way, to use that term, because that's a term we use these days, understand that that's not something that feeds the desire to expand. It is feeding the desire to be right. It is feeding the desire to get back at somebody. It's feeding the desire to unleash pain that you haven't even processed. It's to punish others, right? Now, listen, we're all out here like feeling our pain, like, yeah, I do it, I feel it, right? But it doesn't mean it's right. It doesn't mean that it's a healthy emanation for you. And it's definitely not you working in alignment with your higher, right? And so the reason why we're just talking about that is to help you to understand the power of motivation and what it means that when you get into alignment with your higher self, these low base energies like that pettiness, like needing to have the last word, needing to be right, making sure people, you learn a fool, all that stuff, it's just falls away. It doesn't appeal to you. And guess what you get back in return that you cannot exercise when you're in those lower energies? Starts with an E, empathy. A lot of people that we get behind online and we laud, they are lacking sorely in empathy because they're not connected to their higher self. They're connected to their pain. And that's what drives them. So if you want to get on the bandwagon, in other words, if you want to align with people who are in their pain and acting out and teaching a whole bunch of people on this planet that that's the way we do things. Yeah, that we said what we said. And yeah, I'm in control. This is my main character energy. Get out the way. Well, you should have known, right? He had it coming. He had it coming. Dun, dun. Great song, by the way. Great song. But then you understand that you're tapping into something that is not your higher self, that is not coming from a loving place, that is not coming from the place that says, let's give back to the world in high vibration. It's coming from a place that is wounded, that is unprocessed, and that is acting out in order not to heal, but to punish. So we're looking at, boom, the D word. And it's not the D that we want, but it's the D that we need, discernment. Okay? So the guides talked about discernment this month. I can't remember what. It might have been the weekly post or the monthly post. I don't know. But speaking of some other Ds, we see the Diamond Dreamer. Where? Right here, right? So this is why we're seeing the deception coming through. So remember I said earlier, this card wanted to get away from this because when you are in alignment, not with this dishonesty and all of that and deception, but with your higher self, boom, you cannot be in alignment with those lower expressions. So the dishonest energy, that Seven of Swords energy that I saw earlier that I was trying to get away, cannot even be in the field. So if you really want to get rid of people being dishonest in your life, you got to curb the dishonesty within. You say you want to walk away from this, then stop engaging. You just don't engage. Fighting over the house. You fighting over the house? Do you want to let it go? What do you want here, right? Fighting over things, wanting to be right, fighting over a man or woman, get out. What are we doing? It's either you want to fight or you want to grow. It's either you want to engage or you want to detach. You cannot engage and detach at the same time. And if you decide to engage in war, you are not in alignment with your higher self. That is a manifestation of an inner war within. All right? All right. I was wondering why the Ice Queen was coming through giving Queen of Swords energy, cutting things out. And here we have ideas preserved, non-action entitlement, right? It's about letting things go. So already we see that when you're in alignment with your higher self through your choice by observing the world, what works, what doesn't work for you, and declining those open invitations to plug into those sources, plugging in to yourself instead, your higher self, your heart, allowing for that energy to come in to clear out the lower frequencies within you. You allow the forms, people, places, things, situations, ideas that are built upon those frequencies that you're allowing to release to fall away. And in so doing, you become this beautiful conduit, where you're the sun. You are literally the sun. Look at that light. That's you. And here you are opting to take this star. That is you. The sun is a star, by the way, right? The star, it's you. You're the sun. It emanates out and it helps others if they're ready and if they're willing to align, not with you, but with the light within you, which is the real you. So why I made that distinction is because it's not that, oh my God, we're going to idolize you now. And what you say goes. And said, no, it's instead, there's something in you, something about you that reminds me of home, that reminds me of myself. I want to get back home to myself. This is literally you walking people back home just by being yourself. But that was what you did. You reached for yourself leadership, right? We also saw that when you're in that high vibrational state, things that are along those low frequencies, the pettiness, the aggro energy, the needing to be right, the I said what I said, the this and that, all of that petty energy falls away. It cannot hold in your field because you're no longer there. And yes, you may find yourself needing to detach from people that are that you no longer find yourself in alignment with for whatever reason. But you're not out here blasting them. You're not out here hurting them. You're not crushing tires. You're not giving them the cold shoulder to dinner table. You're not all this and that. Because all of that is you choosing to put yourself in a placement in order to be in that mean state of being. If that's not a place you feel that you can bring yourself into light, if you can't preserve your light and be in those spaces, then you don't put yourself in those spaces. Okay? And that's how you remove yourself from things. Not going out of your way to push people around and hurt them because you want to have a conversation with your own pain, but you don't realize it's actually just your own pain, right? And when you're in alignment with yourself, in addition to allowing all that wonderful stuff to happen, then you pull back in, because when nature abhors a vacuum, so when you push out the dishonest energy, the forms and stuff, guess what comes in then? Now this is no longer the dishonesty and seven energy and the seven of swords deceptive energy. No, this is your higher self. You plugged in, and now we have material wealth, true prosperity, which is your true self, abundance. You're always abundant. It's just, are you aligning with yourself so that that abundance can flow? And are you holding mindsets that allow for you to have a flow, or are you creating blockages in your field because you're holding on to unloving beliefs? As I said, you're holding on to loving beliefs. I saw a little bird fly away. So yeah, detach. The last thing that we're seeing here for you, Virgo, or whoever you guys are, God bless you, is this. This says assistance and control, the Horse King, but actually what I'm seeing here is mission work coming in. When I say mission work, I want to clarify that here. It means then spirit can use you to help others in a more active way. Because remember, when you are just by being yourself, whether or not you actively do anything that you can say you did something for people, you just being in that frequency is you literally being a channel through which the higher frequencies of love and all of this can pour onto the planet. So you're actively walking around, doing your business, doing your everyday stuff, being super sweet, walking around, being a channel for light. You're now an extra sun on the planet. But when you can hold that and you can really be in that frequency, of course, spirit's going to be like, yo, let me help you. Can you help me? Right? And look at this. I was like, why are we having there's the Seven of Swords, right? Deception. Because the minute spirit is like, can you be the instrument through which, people say, please, Lord, make me an instrument, right? But in other words, can you help me in a more active way to assist others in the name of love, not in your name, in the name of love, right? And the minute you agree to that, and you likely will, because you're just like, oh my God, I love this energy. I wish everyone can have it. That's when people start lining up to be served with a capital S. Okay? This one's speaking of confusion. This is the deception. Bringing people are going to come in, but look on the back of this horse, but spirit is here with you. You're working now in alignment with spirit. You've got the embodied frequencies here on the earth, and you've got spirit like-minded in the name of something higher, helping you out in the non-physical. That's a dream team. Then you can start to field all these clients coming in, right? Who am I seeing here? Look at you fielding, helping. Who am I seeing here? People who are living in lies, deception, self-deception, all sorts of stuff. People who are living in confusion, a lot of false light, a lot of ego, right? People who are living in fear. You know, we all are doing this and to many degrees, so we're all helping, and right? People who are in their pride, people in material, over material, right? Look at them seeing themselves in this, they, like, you know, anyway. And then we've got people who are struggling with their creativity. A lot of people missing the mark, right? They want to be of service, but they need to cleanse the inside first so that they can do the dropping off and the detachment that you have, right? So anyway, God is good. What I'm trying to say to you guys here today, what's coming through here is that we're all on the path together. Me too. Remember, whoever you meet, do not buy into them saying that they know more than you, this and that. I'm a firm believer. We teach what we need to learn. So always see that I'm bringing through messages for me and for you together. We're all learning. And so when we teach, we learn. When we learn, we teach. When we give, we receive. When we receive, we give. And so when we're here, we're always making a choice. Would I like to align with myself? And from that place of alignment, then engage with the world so that I can discern what is worthy of my time, what I want to buy into, what I want to be part of my belief system, or what's going to inform my choices and actions, or do I want to just stay programmed by what's here on this earth because this is what I was born into, and and I'm going to turn on the news, I'm going to watch it, and I'm going to get afraid, and I'm going to traumatized, and I'm going to just run back to people in power to save me from the mess that they made, right? So it's you, it's your programming. It's all your stuff. Now, interestingly, that they're saying it's all your stuff because from a higher perspective, your beautiful, beloved soul, that is you, and you here on this earth are also beautiful and beloved, by the way. You decided to come in and give yourself this cute little challenge. It's a cute little challenge from the higher perspective. You are a timeless being. We out here being upset over things that the minute we transition to spirit, we're like, that was a good rest. So yeah, what's next, right? But down here, it's like, it's so real, because we want to test ourselves. We want to see, can I remember my goodness? Can I remember who I am? Can I remember that I'm sovereign, that I am the light, that I am one with God and there is no other, and that is humility. It is not arrogance, because arrogance is to think that I can be separate from anybody else, separate from God. That if you're separate from God, where did you go? If God is all that is in all creation, and the concept and the understanding of God actually lies outside of your ability as a human being in this mindset to even comprehend, that is arrogant to think that you cannot be God. You are in and of God because you are in and of creation. You're not outside of it. You can never go outside of it. You're in it. You just perceive to be outside of it because of all the blockages that your beliefs have put between you and the flow of spirit, light, love, information. That's all. And when you're ready to experience the truth of oneness, you get rid of all these trappings and you just let the light come through you. You let yourself come through you. And now you're a conduit. You remember, oh, shoot, I'm a sovereign creator being. And what I say goes. And by the time I'm saying something, I've already believed it, and then I could say it. So if I don't like what I'm saying and I don't like what I'm seeing, if I don't like what I'm experiencing and seeing, I got to take a step back and look at my feelings. If I don't like how I'm feeling, I got to look back and look at my thoughts that led to those feelings and then the expressions of it. Then if I don't like what I was thinking, I have to take a step back and look at my beliefs. And if I don't like what I'm believing, if I can even get to that level of understanding and self-awareness, then I got to take it back, look under the hood. What is leading to these beliefs in my inadequacy and my poverty and all of this? Who's who am I plugging into? Who's injecting me with these fears? And why am I buying into it? And when you really remove all that stuff, this is you literally, as the guides say, take control. Take control. That's how you beat the system that you created. You stop plugging into that which is not you. You plug into yourself, you accept that self, and then you look out onto the world and you engage. And that's it. All right. Anywho, the one card off to the side, just chilling in the cut. Listen to your intuition. Who's your intuition? You. Okay. All right. Anyway, if you guys would like to work more personally with me, you know exactly where to find me. And of course, you guys know if you've worked with me before, you know we do everything. So, and thank you so much for coming to receive this information. From whom? From yourself. I'm just a channel, and I'm happy to be able to bring through this info for you. And I really look forward, ding, to seeing all of you continue to, because you already are. If you're accessing this information, you're already well underway to stepping into your higher self. I look forward to being a part of your journey as you expand even more. Okay? Mwah. God bless you, and bye.